Hey everybody, it's Andy Cloudy Milder, your self-proclaimed metal mogul. We have reached 1982 in my top 10 album cover art of the 1980s series. If you are familiar with the last couple from 80 and 81, you will know these are not necessarily my favourite albums musically, but they are covers that I particularly enjoy looking at. Art being very subjective, what have you. As usual, if your favourites don't match mine, then let me know what I've missed in the comments below, and we'll have a chat about it, and I'll tell you why I'm right. First up, Scorpions Blackout. I was always fascinated by this cover. Just the fact that he's got forks in his eyes, which he's got a bandage on his head, but the bandage doesn't cover where the forks are digging in his eye. I could never figure out what was going on there, but particularly loved the German tash. That was how we all thought Germans looked in the 1980s. Yes, there we go. Absolutely fantastic album. My favourite Scorpions album. Quite easily. If you're going to put dogs on an album, snarling dogs on an album, as Tanker did with the Filth Hounds of Hades, then you're always going to grab my attention. Absolutely killer cover. You're not going to pass that up here. Cerberus, and not the I think it's Cerberus, not the first time you'll see this character depicted in 1982 either. Because here he is again, this time on the Rods album Wild Dogs. Great album, high tempo, great American metal, but again, snarling three-headed dogs on covers, and you've sucked me right in already. It's an easy sell. As is, again, Derek Riggs. And like I said before, do not be surprised to see Deza show up in each and every year that Iron Maiden release an album, because there is no question that his artwork is some of the best. And this is easily my favourite from 1982. Like I say, these albums are in no particular order today, so favourites will pop up here and there. Unashamedly, I don't care either. They're all great. Why should I have to rank them? Rodney Matthews has shown up a fair bit so far, and this is the first one today, and no doubt there will be another one following shortly after. So Diamond Head, Borrowed Time. I mentioned in the 81 video about the Prey Mantis album needs to be a gatefold to fully appreciate it. Well, Borrowed Time is a gatefold, and there we have the full fantasy artscape that Rodney Matthews has provided for us on this album. Absolutely superb. I mean, you put a guy with a sword on the front cover of an album, and I'm already sold. Speaking of guys with swords on the front of albums, Samson Before the Storm. Again, great fantasy artwork. I'm not sure who did this one. Who did this one? Front cover painting is by Barry Thorpe. Kind of similar to sort of Rodney Matthews. But yes, nice fantasy themed cover. Guy with a sword. Looks like he's probably been dragged into the water by the beast, and he's getting out, and he's a little bit pissed off about it. But my money's on the Serpent, I've got to say. There's Rodney again. A band that he is pretty synonymous with, really. Magnum. This is Chase the Dragon. This one is just the one side, really. Lyrics on the back. Again, he's got a very distinctive style, and there's not many albums covers that he's put out that one isn't instantly recognisable as his work, and he's done many of the Magnum albums, certainly most of the ones in the 80s and in more recent years as well. Just incredible stuff. Love his work. Iconic, stunning Judas Priest, screaming for vengeance. Is that Dolo Johnson? I can't read the name on the front, but this is a original US press. It's still in the shrink that was sent to me a few years ago by my friend Corey. Very much a prized possession in the collection. I did a seal to reveal for this when I first received it, because it was it's probably about 5 years or six years ago now, and he sent it to me and it was sealed. It had never been opened, and I took a lot of joy and pleasure in being the first person to open and spin up a probably about 35-year-old record as it was at the time, for the first time. But the image is just iconic. I need to get a t-shirt with that on it. That's absolutely superb. This one's sort of simple, but again, yeah, guy with a sword, sucker for it. Frank Marino Juggernaut. Particularly like the way that as the lightning is striking the sword, is the image of a guitar is starting to appear. But it's a great album, this as well, sort of hard rock. Frank Marino, great guitarist, and this is an absolutely superb album if you are not aware with it. Frank Marino Juggernaut. Now, the last one, the 10th pick, I say not number one choice because it's not in any order, but I struggled to pick between these two, so I'm going to let you guys pick between these two. Both, again, iconic albums, both iconic images on them, but I honestly couldn't choose between them to pick a 10th for this video. So it is between Manowar Battle Hymns with the stone eagle, incidentally with a whopping great sword on the back, but it's not about the back, it's about the front covers. So is Manowar Battle Hymns better than Motorhead's Iron Fist? Both albums from 1992, both iconic bands for very, very different reasons. I'm not going to compare the bands at all, but between the two, what's excuse the glare, what's the best cover? They're kind of similar in style, in that they both have the titles across the top. They both have an impactful image in the middle and the album title towards the bottom. But which is your favourite? Let me know in the comments below. Be interesting to see which one you'd have picked out of those two. That's my 10 for 1982. Guess what's next?